Hi everybody, it's me, Charles Norman, Sports Solutions LLC. We are the creators of AthleticSOS, and we have some other cool projects that are going to be coming out in 2024. But that's our main product right now that we put out to the public. And I want to thank you guys, first of all, for trusting me and going ahead and using it. The software is absolutely no cost. And if you have a kid that's trying to get an athletic scholarship, the approach that we take is completely different than everyone else. We are showing you all of the schools you academically qualified to attend that offer your sport, offer a scholarship for your sport at the level you can participate, whether it's NCAA Division I, II, or III, it's NAIA, even junior colleges that offer scholarship money and will pay for your books and your boarding and all of that stuff. And so we think our approach is that you find a school that fits you, fits your kid, and then you guys reach out to them, tell them where you're going to be, and let them come out and see you play. And then inside the software, there's an opportunity for you to add video and your any kind of newspaper clippings, talk about the sports you play, any notes you want to put in there, anything that you think that coach would be interested in learning about you, so they can make a decision on whether or not to come out and pursue, at least come and find out if you can really play at that level, because they've never heard of you before, and you get to look all over the country instead of just in your local area. And you can have your high school coach or your travel club coach reach out for you on your behalf, and then all you have to do is perform. And the difference will be when they come out to your showcase, your viewing tournament, your combine, whatever you're going to be in, they're coming to see you. They're not coming to discover everybody else out there playing. They will follow you from place to place to place, and you will get an opportunity to actually maybe not play so well on a certain game or a certain day. They'll come back and see again because they know you want to go to their school. They know you academically qualified to go to their school, and they have some vouching maybe from your high school coach or your travel club coach that you can play at this level, and they've seen some film of you. So they're okay. They know everything's not always going to be perfect. You want to do your best at all times, but you can also get discovered by some other coach, but at least you reached out to where you want to be. And so that's our thought process, and we're going to go further with this. So today in this video, I'm probably going to get a little pushback from this because I got pushback from when I said it just earlier this week. I went to an event out in the Las Vegas area, and I was going for a basketball tournament, and we were going to showcase the software was going to be, we were going to sponsor the tournament. It was in an underserved community, and we wanted to do something extra. The guy that was doing it does a great job out there in that community. I don't like to give out a whole bunch of names because I don't know if I'm okay to give out people's names and information. Maybe they don't want it out there. But anyway, so we went out to do that. But while we were there, I got an opportunity to go to a community center in one of these communities, and they were interested in the software and bringing it into it was a nonprofit, and they had a bunch of money coming in, and they were going to start a STEM program. And so they were getting all these computers in, and I went up there to show them the software. I did a demo of the software, and so I was part of this meeting. And part way through the meeting, they were talking about STEM and getting the kids in there. And I, kind of drove through and I'd walk through. A lot of these kids, because my career was STEM, right? I was, for 35 years, I did systems analysis. That's what I was. That's what I did. That's how I was able to create this software. And so I was sitting there and I said, boy, the more I think about it, the more I cringe with it. But I said, youth sports is more valuable than the STEM program will be. And everybody at that table sat there and looked at me like I was, I had 2 or 3 heads. And they didn't say anything negative because I just shown the demo. So they knew that I understood technology. And I said, I'm not saying that STEM isn't a great career path for a lot of people, but when you hear the word STEM, most people throw that out. But what they really are trying to talk about is technology. I don't know too many people that know people that have a science degree or a math degree. Nobody talks about that. And I know a ton of engineers. When I was coming up, engineering was the thing to go into. Any aspect of engineering was the thing to go into, and it got flooded. There were so many people doing it, it was very difficult for you to land the job that made a lot of money. A lot of people got into that and they couldn't find anything to match up with the years of schooling they had taken to get that engineering degree. Doesn't mean an engineering degree is a bad degree. It depends on what you get it in, but and what is needed at that moment. But the same thing's happening in technology. Now, the only person that I know that got a math degree that actually went to math all the way through college, they are in academics. They're a professor. And so the other people that have with science and for if you're going to be in science for data, That's a little bit different. That's the tech field more than it is the science field, I mean, to me. And then the people in math that made a lot of money, those people made money, they went into finance. They, I know a lot of people go into accounting and things like that as a discipline, but the people that made a bunch of money, they went into finance, right? And so in tech, it's just this wide breadth of things that are going on. And people that get interested in tech were interested in tech, a lot of them, the ones that really make it, because you can make anywhere from 50,000 to 400,000. Most people are somewhere between $75,000 and $150,000. That's probably where most people are going to land in the tech field. If you get into the right area, you're in the right thing, like cybersecurity is a big deal right now, you can make a lot of money right now. But the problem with tech, and I tell people this all the time, the problem with tech is it keeps on expanding and growing out. So you've learned this discipline and now you're 35, 45 years old, you're going to have to keep going. You have to keep learning the new thing. Everything that you knew is no good anymore, right? You got to keep on learning and learning and learning. And then there's young people coming behind you that started over here. You started here, they started over here. And then the other thing about tech is, and I think a lot of people don't get this, it's not how good you are technically. It's, can you supervise? Can you run a group? You make more money in tech when you can run a group, a system. Yeah, there's a couple of people that are so good at what they're doing. They're almost like savants, that they're so good at what they're doing. Yeah, they'll make a ton of money. They'll work isolated somewhere in some remote place, but that's not what most people are going to be doing. So you're going to have that supervisor, that leadership value. And so the reason, though, I told them what I told them, and I explained myself. I said, here's the difference. You guys put this STEM thing, and they were going to have computers coming in, stuff that got donated. They had a bunch of money, so they were buying a bunch of stuff, and they had this great, nice looking room, and they were going to do robotics, and they were going to do drones, and they were going to do all of this cool stuff, audio visual. So it was going to be a great program. I wasn't arguing the program. What I was saying was to them, I said, you could get more kids in here if you took a sports approach and then tied the sports to artificial intelligence or AR or VR or any of the other things that you're doing. How can you use technology to improve as an athlete? And when I showed the software, I went back, I actually showed the software again. I went to a spot where I show all of the sports are available. There's 32 sports here that most of these kids in this neighborhood will never get a chance to experience. Why don't you bring and put a program together so they can experience some of these things? They can learn how to row or go sailing or do archery, all of these other sports that everybody just knows, baseball, basketball, football, soccer, volleyball, the main sports. But there are other sports that they can learn. And so it doesn't mean every kid has to be this super athlete. It just means that they got to find something that clicks with them. And now they will come in here, they will come to your organization, they will go to wherever you want them to go because they want to be a part of that. They want to do something that's fun and exciting, and it gets them away from all the nonsense that's going on around them. They've got a safe haven. But the STEM program is going to be and I've seen STEM programs go in all over the place. I've been doing this for a long time. And what ends up happening in these community rec centers or places like that, these nonprofits, is that the people who work for the nonprofit, they get their kids in. The people that they know, some family members, they get them in. And the spaces fill up really quick that the people that actually you were trying to help, they get to come in and they get to experience it a little bit, but they don't get to go as far as some of the other people get to go. So it's a pet peeve of mine. It's one of the things, but I've seen it over and over and over again. And most kids don't get it. And kids in underserved communities, if they don't get something, they feel dumb, they feel stupid, and they will quit. They will start messing up and doing some little weird stuff off the side, and you have to put them out of the program, and then they're on probation, and it's just they don't get it because it's not practical to them, and they got to catch up. They're having trouble with math in general. They're having trouble reading and comprehending and things like that. They need to start from here, and then the tech room is here, right? And it's for the kids that were already going to do well anyway. And there's nothing wrong with having those other programs, but I said sports will bring them in, will get them into your world, and now because they want to play, you can take sports and tie it to tech or tie it to STEM or whatever you want to do, tie it to math, tie it to anything you want, and just sprinkle it in really fun and innovative ways. That's how you get it done. And then everybody looked at me like I had three heads again. But the point was, that's where I'm going with sports solutions. This is what I want. So I was able to articulate it, I thought, very well at the meeting. And I think enough people got it, because some people asked me some more questions afterwards. How will we implement this? What does it look like? How are we going to get people to come in and train them on that weekly after week? How, you know, so, but I have ideas about that. So hopefully they'll have me come back. I'm supposed to go back sometime in early 2024 for something else that's out there, and they wanted me to come. They were asking me when I was going to be back out in that area, and I'll be going back out there. But anyway, my point was, one of the biggest discouragements for me is that as I've gotten into this world, because I go all the way in when I go in on something, is how many former high-level college athletes and professional athletes are really having a difficult time adjusting to their post-athletic world, right? You got almost there. You were at the pinnacle. And a lot of these guys did, or a lot of them were guys. A lot of them did make the professional level, but they didn't stick. And they didn't get that big payday, or they didn't get that big payoff. And everything they've done from 5-year-old to 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, somewhere in that area is where it's kind of came to an end. They find all of that support system just cratered. It's gone. It's not there anymore. Now, who am I? Right? What am I going to do next? And most people want to kind of stay. That's the only world that they know. And so that is one of the biggest discouragements from, because I think that could have all been avoided. And that's what I want to do with your kids. So what I want to do for all of the people that are coming through and going to go with us, right? Right now, I just have the high school version, the AthleticSOS software, but junior high kids are using it too now. I know that for a fact. And so I want to catch that. My next thing is going to be for those 5 to 9-year-olds. And then I'm going to do the 10 to 12-year-olds, those junior high school years. But here's what I believe with athletics. And I don't think there's anything else that does this. There's only so many spots for an athletic team. I don't care what anybody says. And anybody that's gotten a uniform handed to them and thrown in their lap, and they know they're part of the team, they made that team. You can't duplicate that anywhere else. Nowhere else in your child's life is it going to be a situation where someone's trying to stop them. There is an opposition in front of them. Whether it's somebody, if it's golf, you don't have somebody actually trying to stop you from getting the ball in the hole, but just the challenge of doing it before someone else does it. You're running a race. You're in baseball, basketball, you actually have a physical person trying to prevent you from being successful. Very few times do you have that as a kid. I don't care what anyone says, any STEM program going around, everybody that wants to be a part of that is willing to study, maybe get some tutoring, maybe understand that there's an area for them to get in. It's open to everyone, but sports isn't like that. Sports, there are limited number of seats. Yes, when they first start out, everyone can do it. Everyone can join, everybody gets to play. I get it. But as you start going through and you advance and you advance and you advance, there's only so much room on those teams. So those kids that get to that next level and that next level, that's very difficult to do. And and there's very few other things that I can think of. Maybe you guys can put down in the comments what you think those things are. So sports is important that way. But the bigger thing with sports, and I'm not talking about just the fact that you have to learn teamwork and discipline and working hard and learning how to be a good winner and a good loser and all of those, that's all key. And that's all really important. But what we always miss with sports, especially with youth sports, is the ability for your kid to be around other good kids, other good families, and the experience they should be having while they're playing. Even when my daughter played, now we had an opportunity to play with a team of girls out in the Ventura area. I live about an hour and a half away, maybe 2 hours away from them. And we had to drive up there, and we had a few practices. And then when we went out on the road during her sophomore year, we went with these families, that kind of wealthy families out there, but we went out with them. And instead of us just going to the viewing tournaments and sitting and watching game after game after game like everybody else did, we went out and did things. We went to Oregon, we went to South Carolina, we went to Chicago, and we went around and we showed them the city, because this is how those people live their lives. They don't live just for the sports. And maybe it was because it was girls basketball and nobody in that group was trying to get to the WNBA necessarily. But we had these experiences, and this is what our kids need. When you're going somewhere, tell your coach, hey, if we're going to be here, let's look for some other things culturally that we can take our kids to. And then the fact that she got to mesh with people outside of her area, they had a lot of stuff in common. The basketball was the key one, but they had other things that they could just talk about and get to know each other. And they still call each other to this day. None of them went to college together, but they still talk to each other to this day. And so these are the things that could change your entire life for your kid. Getting them involved with sports is not just about playing the game. It's not just about competition. It's not all of those things over there. That's what we see. But it's about the little things. If you as a parent, if you as a coach, if you as a trainer, if you as whatever, get these kids together and let them mesh together and figure out who each other are, and let them make friends with people they may not even see anymore, but they can pick up the phone, they can video call each other, they can see each other, they can be in each other's lives in a lot of different ways. And now 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years from now, they may reconnect for something that's bigger than what the sports thing was. This is how we want to move forward with our kids. The past of going to school, getting good grades, going to college, getting a great job, have a good career, that world's ending. I'm telling you guys, as I'm sitting here, I've been in tech my whole life. 10 years ago, I went to an event where they had a computer argue a legal case. It was the attorney for both sides. It argued both sides of that case, and then when it finished, it won the case for the defendant. Afterward, it told the prosecutor what laws need to be changed so that that loophole was not open anymore. And then I saw a dental office. This is 10 years ago, mind you. So all this stuff is already here. 10 years ago, the dentist office, the person sat in the chair, and it was a dummy. It wasn't a real person. But that chair went through that dental office. It did the x-rays. It did it did the extract. It did everything. And it was no blood. And that's what they told us. It was going to be less bleeding, less recovery time, everything. Now I can imagine that's going to be in doctor's offices. It's going to be everywhere. The future is fewer people are needed, not more people. I hope everybody understands this. They can do more with fewer people than they need a whole bunch of people. So you're going to have to be in a position now where you're going to have to come up with something unique, something that computers can't do. The one thing computers can't do that humans can do is we can see things and twist it. A computer only knows the data. It can take a large amount of data and come up with some hypotheses, but a human being sees things completely different than computers do. And it's our advantage. It always will be our advantage. So I'm just trying to get you guys to understand it's the human component for your kids, that sports allows them to meet and be around a lot of great, positive people. And if you let them have some experiences while they're competing, while they're getting ready to compete, yes, you got to you have your game mind ready to go and all that kind of stuff. But this is youth sports. It's the experiences. You guys are driving to places right now. You guys drive, you get to the gym, you see the coach out front. You guys' game is in an hour. Everybody sits around. You can play your first game, and then you come back out, and you guys will get something, some orange slices, or you get something to eat, and you sit around and you talk about the last game and what everybody did wrong and all that. And then by the time the tournament, everybody gets in their own car and they go in different directions. They come back tomorrow and they do it again. And in the meantime, you guys were in probably another part of the city that you guys normally don't go to. You probably drove out somewhere. What was out there? Where could you have gone with the kids? And everybody goes, and we're going to eat at a place where they can just sit and talk. Parents could be over here, and parents, you guys could be talking to each other. Hey, what's going on in the world? What are you guys looking at? Anybody thinking about starting anything? I'm interested in this. Anybody know anybody that knows about this thing? You guys should be thinking about that too. Sports is just an incredible world, and I think we're missing 90% of it by concentrating on did we win, did we lose? And here's the final thing I'm going to say about this, because I can go way down the rabbit hole in this thing. Most people put their kids into sports and the kid will trail off because they're just not that great athlete. I think 90% of the kids are playing the wrong sport early on. And if you knew about the other sports, which is where I'm going to be trying to come to in 2024. But the reason parents like sports and put their kids in sports, because it's the one place where they can help them. Once that kid is on the field, the court, or in the competitive arena, there's nothing you can do. You got to wait for it to be over. And all most parents are looking for, most parents, some are, outside the box there. But what most parents are looking for is for their kid to compete. They know how competitive the world is and how unforgiving the world can be in a lot of ways. So if your kid can just get out there and compete against somebody that's better than them, or maybe they're better than the other kid, but that if they can just hold their spot, hold their own, that's it. That's what you're looking for. And so if we get that right, they can play for the rest of their lives. They should be competitive the rest of their lives. And that's what you're looking for. So anyway, get off the soapbox. It is Christmas Eve. So I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. I'm going to go out. The whole family's in town. We got a lot of people at our house, so I'm going to get back over there and have a nice breakfast and just let everything go for a little while. Give AthleticSOS to anybody want to use it. Down below, I always give you a code. I give you the instructions for how to use the code. It's absolutely no cost. It's a great gift. If you're a parent, a grandparent, an aunt, and uncle, go ahead and sign up. And then when you see that athlete in your family that you think is playing at the high school level and you think they might want to use that software, you just go over and say, hey, listen, check out this software. Go in there and start playing around. Hey, would you like to use this? I can give you a login information. You guys go ahead and have it. Have at it. It's no cost. Or just tell their parents about it. Show their parents and show them the code and everything and let them sign up for their own kid. And so that's, wow, it's a free gift. It's worth at least $200 because I was selling it for that not too long ago. And so I'm offering it to you guys as a way for us to move forward, that we change youth sports into a whole different path from where it is now. So if you guys want to ride along with me with that, I welcome you. All right, so next week I'm going to go over, a lot of people have been asking me about they want to start a business or they want to get into something. They're not quite sure how to go about it. They want to hear my story a little bit. And I'll tell you what 2023 was for me and where I'm going in 2024 and what I've learned this year that is getting me there. I've made a ton of mistakes, trust me, but I've also moved forward in ways that are completely unexpected to me. And so I'm really looking forward to the future and what's going on. So if you guys want to hear that, that'll be New Year's Eve. I'll do that next week. I'll put something together and we'll talk about business. If you want to start, so I think everybody should be starting a business. I think every single parent out here that has a kid that's playing sports, you know they're going to try to play in college or they're going to college anyway, that you should have something already rolling at that time, that they see you. Yes, I go to work every day. Yes, the world's crushing on us right now, but I'm still going to go start something new. That's the kind of thing they need to see from you, and then it'll help you too. It'll really change your lives. I'm having a ball doing this. I'm learning things. I'm meeting people, and we're going places that I never thought I would be going. And I want you guys to have that too. All right, guys, as always, best of luck to you in all your endeavors. Enjoy your Christmas, and we'll see you next week. Bye.